RWM Home Loans in Fresno is a proud sponsor of Fuego FC. RWM Fresno, mortgages made easy and where your journey begins. Little Caesars has been a proud partner of Fuego FC for over a decade. Check out their new location on Cedar and Shields in Fresno and make sure to order some crazy bread. The Iron Office, a 24/7 private gym, veteran-owned, right here in Fresno, California. Make sure to lift heavy, lift often with the Fuego's official gym partner, the Iron Office. Envision Realty. We want to help those achieve the dream of home ownership. We are your voice and will be right by your side from beginning to end and beyond. Visit www.envisionfresno.com and be a future home owner.
What's going on?
Dude, I was thinking it earlier today. We were in a meeting, and I was like, man, thank God you're here. Thank God you're here. We've been waiting for you.
Well, thank you for having me.
You know, so you come over from the Dynamo, previously with Galaxy, previous with Chivas. You have a ton of experience in Major League Soccer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it's been a journey, and I landed here in the
from the mean
Valley.
streets of South Central LA.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely a different feel here. I like it. I don't miss the humidity of Houston, so
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the weather here, even though it's hot for most of the locals.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people complain about the heat, but I mean, a lot of people complain about the valley in general until you go move somewhere else and you realize it's pretty damn good here.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I still remember when I moved originally from Los Angeles to Houston, and I thought to myself, like, holy shit, it's hot. Got used to it.
Yeah.
And coming here, it's like a walk in the park.
Yeah, you can go out in the back, turn on the mister, and all of a sudden it's feeling pretty good outside.
Oh, yeah.
Or hop in the pool.
You just got to have your pool, right?
You just got to have a pool.
Yeah.
So you're a streamer.
I'm not a hardcore
Okay.
streamer, but I did start a Twitch channel. And, COVID makes you try out different things. Being stuck at home, video gaming is one of my hobbies, so I decided let me share it with the world, and started playing some UFC on there, some
Okay.
Call of Duty, and Mortal Kombat.
So UFC, obviously Jose and I are addicted to the UFC. We study the UFC like every single weekend. Who's your go-to guy there?
I'm a Poirier guy now.
Poirier guy now? You traded?
Did you see how he broke Conor McGregor's leg?
Some will say he did. Some will say he didn't.
You gotta check those kicks.
You got to check the kicks. You got to check so being on Twitch is kind of cool. It's kind of like podcasting in a way, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because you gotta pay attention to the people that are involved on your Twitch channel. So if you're getting comments, and you really need to interact with those people so you can grow your audience, and people could feel that you actually care about them watching you play,
right.
and commenting on it. But the hard part is like keeping your concentration. I don't have all that fancy equipment. I'm going directly from my Xbox to a camera, and my headset is my audio device. So a lot of that is on the mobile app where I'm looking at the comments while I'm playing.
So they've made it relatively easy to stream now.
Yeah, no, it saves you that money, right?
So all you need is a camera, really.
All you need is a camera. You plug it right into the Xbox, and you're done with the Twitch app.
It's crazy to me how popular that's gotten over the last few years. Last night I was actually watching Chicharito.
Okay.
Has a Twitch channel, and I think he does a bunch of Call of Duty. I saw like a bunch of clips, but it's just, I mean, it's funny. It's funny to watch those people react and get to play with their fans and random people, and all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, that sounds like Chicharito's voice.
No, it's when I started seeing those Chicharito videos, I'm like, wow, I need to get to this level. Like, this guy, he doesn't care what people think, and just...
He's like a kid on there.
Yep, he's like a kid up there. I think that's what people like. It makes them relate to the player.
Yeah. So you and I met when we worked for the LA Galaxy back in the day, not too long ago, but a few years ago, right as I was on my way out as Steven Gerrard and Gio came in. That was a super exciting year. I think for all of us that were working with the club, it was like, a big European star and a big Mexican star get signed in the same year. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. I would deal a lot with the Hispanic market, so I'd get all kinds of stuff. You have people excited for Giovanni, and then you have people just trolling, right, and saying, "Oh, he was a borracho." It was around that time when that video leaked where, he was drinking with some girls, I think, and he was just really wasted in the video.
Right.
So, but that's why he's there, right? Somebody people recognize, even for the bad stuff and the good stuff, and you start that conversation, and people want to come out and watch, the sport.
The Galaxy haven't been the same since we left. I think maybe we left. We took all the good luck with us.
Honestly, you had the good luck. I think you were there for the championship run.
Right.
I was still at Chivas USA.
Okay.
When you guys won. So it was an interesting year. It was the last year of Chivas USA and the year the Galaxy won.
Right.
It's definitely... The luck was on your side around that
It was,
time.
Yeah. And then they just, Bruce Arena left, and Landon retired, and then Keane retired, who was a stud, and Giassi got traded. Alan Gordon, I think, left. So it was like Juninho left. Like all that core group of players that were on that championship team were gone. So then you go over to Houston. Mm-hmm. Who's your favorite Houston Dynamo player of all time?
Of all time?
Yeah.
I got to shout out Brian Cheng.
Okay, I thought we were going to shout out Mike Chabala.
And Mike Chabala, of course. Fresno in the house.
Yeah, shout out Mike.
But yeah, Brian Cheng, growing up, I didn't watch the Dynamo. But moving to Houston and learning about the culture and the history, and Brian Cheng did a lot for that community, and he still does. He has a soccer-specific bar called Pitch 25 right behind the stadium, which just adds to the soccer environment right there. There's King's Court. It's like a Indian English pub style bar, and then you have Pitch 25, which has like its own indoor soccer going on while people are drinking. So it's
pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, and it goes well with the stadium.
Was that Christian was living in Houston. I was actually back here working for the Grizzlies, and I got a chance to go to the World Series, and so I went out there and stayed with you, and we did some barbecue and went to a World Series game and stuff. But you took me to a pre-match or like a season ticket holder party or something like that at a pub. Was that the place?
Yeah, we went to King's Court, and across the street from there, they built the
pitch.
It was a warehouse until Brian Chen went in there and turned it into a nice soccer-specific bar, which had a lot of Mexico fans for the World Cup when that was happening, and they probably had a lot of fans this past weekend for both Copa America and the Euro Cup, which were huge.
There's a cool downtown scene in Houston for sure. I mean, it's got a thriving downtown, and in that little area where the King's Court is it's like that's newer development area, right? But it's got a really cool soccer culture there. When we went into that bar, and like, what was the name of the fan group that we were there with?
So El Batallón, EB.
Okay.
They're one of the main supporter groups there. they're the ones that have the drums, the horns and all that. There's a couple other supporter groups, Texian Army. We have the Surge, who's just coming up, and Bandera Negra, which is actually a group that was started with one of our former employees who decided to go into teaching, but still wanted to be part of the soccer culture and started his own group.
So 5 different clubs.
Oh yeah, a couple of different groups there, just working together.
Is that because something that we experience here is, we had multiple different supporter groups, and it was difficult for everyone to kind of coexist and sound good on game days. I mean, how did they do it there? Were they able to come together, or is that a work in progress?
No, I feel like they blend well together. Bandera Negra is El Batallón has the drums and the horns, so they're the loudest group with the most people. So
they control the sound in a way.
Everything kind of falls into place through them, but we have supporter meetings with front office, like I think it's once a month. Them just making sure everybody agrees on things and everybody's working together. If there's any issues, they hash it out and go from there. But I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's there for the team. I think that idea has been the main focus, that it's brought everybody together. And it looks great. When you see one of the huge games, we won't have enough seats for them. There's people always trying to get into the supporter section, right? The thing with them is making sure that's consistent every game, not just like the big games.
Yeah, and so I mean, clearly you've come from some highly successful last 2 clubs that you've been with. I mean, what from your role now as you're the director of sales, in charge of all ticketing, season tickets, group tickets, company outings, partial plans, mini plans, individual game tickets, wholesales team, youth soccer tickets. I mean, what do you think really is the main thing that is going to help take Fuego from a once amateur club, now a pro club, really into the next stratosphere of selling out every game and having a really thriving stadium experience?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. It's definitely we have to be able to position ourselves as a legitimate professional club, right? Invest in the right things so that the awareness is there about us. And at the same time, we'll have our own efforts, calling people, making sure that if you're interested in the club, we don't miss you, and you're not left hanging if you send an email. That's we answer you right away and make sure you feel welcome. I think in every aspect that you discussed, even though there's a company here or a family here, what matters most is how you interact with those entities or families, right? If there's a business coming out with all their employees, we need to make sure that everything's in place for them to have a great time. And once they're here, they feel like the world and the Fuego took care of them. Just like each family and their kids, when they come out, they want to make sure that they're welcome and having a great time. The one thing I can't control is the players on the field, right? How they do or whatnot. But what we can control is, being there for our fans, making sure they have, great locations for the season seats, make sure that we have different areas for any type of person. If you're low income, high income, we have a place for you in the stadium, right? And make sure that we're taking care of people on the customer service side as well.
Yeah, I think that's an important piece of it, is like we say soccer's for everybody, Fuego's for everybody. And so reflecting that in our pricing structure and our ticketing plan is something that I think is really important to show the community, like, we are here for all of you. And we have an opportunity for whether you need a really affordable ticket or whether you want a really next level type of experience, that's going to be something that's built for you guys.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something I've been working on here and making sure that, there's reasonable pricing for everybody, right? I won't go into details just yet, but I think people are going to be pretty happy once they see, season ticket prices, group prices, and beyond.
Yeah, and it's like I think the way that the pricing structure is going to be developed for the fans is really going to encourage people to buy season tickets.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
You can save a lot of money by buying season tickets, and the opportunities for you to be able to, give those season tickets to somebody else if you can't make a game is going to be an easy process. Or being able to go out if you can't make a game and match and donate those tickets to a worthy cause of a youth group or somebody in need of tickets is going to be an opportunity for you. So season tickets, I think it's the way to go, right?
Yeah, no, I definitely prefer the term memberships because it's more than just a ticket to a game, as being part of a family. And, being a member with the club gets you a lot more, right? It's not just coming out to the game. We'll be doing, member events, additional discounts on merch and all that cool stuff that makes makes it worth it to get a membership with us. Yeah,
definitely. So what have you learned about Fresno so far and the Central Valley?
There are a lot of food options.
Okay.
That's great. That's the one thing I think people care about the most, right? We all have to eat.
You got to eat well.
So definitely love the fact that I could get any type of food. We're back to our California Mexican food. LA, similar to LA, we have great, Mexican food. I know one of the biggest things in Houston was Tex-Mex. And a lot of people from California don't like Tex-Mex, and they want to.
What would you say is like, how do you, to somebody who hasn't gone anywhere other than Chevy's, for those of you that remembered Chevy's, which is bomb, I love Chevy's, it's gone. But describe Tex-Mex to people who haven't been out to Texas.
Tex-Mex, instead of getting your taco with your cilantro and onion, you have your sour cream and guac on the taco, right? And that
contributes to everything's bigger in Texas,
right? And then additionally, they love their queso over there, which is pretty good.
And is it queso like queso fresco, or is it more like
a yellow,
like a nacho cheese?
Nacho cheese almost.
I see the ones with like pepper and stuff like that in it.
And they mix it with like ground beef or different meats sometimes, and they'll have it with chips. So it's legit. I mean, I don't mind it. I like to eat, so.
And the one thing that I can't get enough of, and I mean, bless all the places here in town, there's a few really good ones, but the barbecue is just not the same as it is in Texas.
Yeah, no, weren't you telling me we can't find brisket anywhere?
We can't find brisket. I mean, I'm like looking all around for brisket, and I'm like, they must be selling this to all the restaurants in Texas, because you can't find it and try to cook it at home. I don't know where to get it.
Yeah, no, that's a huge thing. My girlfriend loves barbecue, so every time she would visit in Texas, that's what we would do. Go to the best.
What's your go-to spot in Houston?
There's just so many options, but in Houston, there's a place called Pinkerton's, and then the Pit Room, which were pretty amazing.
And what's the dish? What do you go for?
I just like straight, brisket.
Just brisket. White bread.
Pork ribs are great. They just come softly off the bone. You're making me hungry here.
It's getting to that point in the day where barbecue is sounding pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, coming into a new market, you grew up in California, you went through the CSU system, shout out to Mingus Hills, and now you've worked your way up through the MLS, and now you're in the USL. I mean, give us your impression of the USL from a national perspective, and not, being part of it just yet. I guess aside from a little bit with LA Galaxy 2 while we were there. What's your impression of the USL as a league?
I love how much it's growing. Some of the teams in the MLS are former USL teams, right? They just had the crowd that the league wanted, and MLS was able to get
Cincinnati, Orlando, Nashville.
Yeah, so, I mean, USL is doing something right.
Portland, I think, once upon a time.
Yeah, no, so I'm excited. I can see this league being one of the top leagues, too. It's probably going to go down to players in the future, like where are they going. But I like the idea that it gives more opportunities for more people to play the sport professionally, right? And we're in the Central Valley, right? There isn't an MLS team here, right? You would have to go up to San Jose or down to LA to get your MLS team. So it's important. I mean, I grew up, when MLS wasn't a league yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to see this growth is huge, and to see that there is opportunities for local kids and more because of the USL, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and I mean, to think and hope that one day we get to a point where, promotion relegation is a reality. I think if any league has the opportunity to do it here, it's the USL. But between Championship and League One, to have flexibility and mobility and strong markets and teams that could thrive to try to win, and if you lose, you get punished. I mean, talk a little bit about that. I mean, you're a fan of Liga MX, of course, and European soccer. You're now indoctrinated into to the Blues here in town, right? Central Valley Blues guy. So you're familiar with promotion and relegation. I mean, what do you think about it? Do you think it could work here in this country, and do you think that it makes sense for the USL?
I know a lot of people look at it from the competition aspect. I like that idea. I always view it from the business standpoint, right? Like, if things weren't the way they are right now, maybe the league wouldn't be here, right? MLS or the USL, right? So if it's, why break it if it's working, right? Like,
yeah.
The way everything's set up has led to the growth of soccer in the United States. So I'm a big fan of the way it is right now, similar to your NBA, your NFL, where, people are buying franchises into the league, right? And you could basically show you the value of being in whatever market you're joining the league from. When we get to that point where, all these different cities have the fans, the sponsorship dollars, the TV deals, I think you can make that move into the promotion system.
You need to get to a place of stability first.
Yeah. I feel soccer still has a lot to do.
It's new in this country. I mean, 96, right? 96 was the first year of the MLS. I mean, we're 25 years in as of today, and
yeah, I'm older in soccer. Like,
you're older than soccer here in this, and it's pretty incredible to think where the MLS has really grown in the last 25 years and how many markets are being impacted. But you're right, having local soccer with local players all over the country is really cool, because I think what I've seen over the years, and I worked in minor league baseball for a long time, is that, people want to live maybe sometimes not in Los Angeles or San Francisco or Dallas or a big city, and they have family and an opportunity in a place like Fresno or, wherever it might be. And it's really cool to have professional sports in your hometown, and to have the ability for your players that you might have grown up playing with to have that opportunity to play for the hometown club. I think it's really special. It's something that is different than the MLS. because the MLS is obviously the top level. They're the mecca in this country, and they do a very good job of branding and marketing, and have beautiful stadiums and beautiful experiences. But man, there's something cool about like watching your hometown heroes rise up and compete for your club, like you might see. I've brought him up a few times, but for Liverpool, like a Trent Alexander-Arnold. Who was a young player who came up through the academy and is now playing for the first team. And there's so many players out there like that. And so it's something that makes the USL, I think, unique in this country and a lot of fun to follow.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's easier in the USL to have your homegrown players. I know some MLS teams have struggled because they'll spend the money on a Central American, South American player who could come and help their team immediately, right? And they might not have the patience for their academy product to develop, but I think they're working those kinks out as well. But in the USL, like not everybody's gonna go to your Earthquakes Academy, and if they're in Fresno, that's 3 hours away, right?
Yeah, it could be a financial challenge to get there.
It could be tough. So having that pathway it's beautiful, right? I mean, you look at Europe, these top clubs, they're all in the same city, and it's a small.
Yeah, London has how many teams?
Yeah, it's a small geography, and all these teams. I think that's why they got great, because so many different teams in such a small area, everybody competing for players and playing the same sport, and just kind of develop those leagues. Kind of like if you talk about war, right? All these European countries were battling it out, and they ended up being more technology advanced than the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're fighting amongst each other.
Right. Yeah. It forces you to evolve much quicker.
So I think that's what happened with soccer there.
Yeah, it's exploded. I mean, you think 25 years for it to go from, MLS, and USL had a previous kind of version around the A-League that was around for a long time. But the explosion of all these pro leagues coming out with the USL and USL Championship, USL League One, NISA, there's a lot of soccer happening right now, and I think it's great.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, what's next? I know that we're getting ready to hire on staff and bring on people. Like if there's listeners out there who have reached out who are interested in working for the club or getting involved, I mean, what are you looking for in developing a sales team for this club and for this community?
Honestly, people that have the passion, the commitment, and that want to be involved in the community, right? The biggest thing with us is we're going to be local. We're going to be connecting with local businesses and somebody that could, deliver our message and get people excited about the sport, right? Not being fake, being themselves, and really, communicating that.
Yeah, sales is. It was funny. I was telling you this past weekend. And I don't know if you got to watch it yet, Jose, or not, but Dana White did a post-fight conference for the UFC, and they asked him, like, what's the one thing you're not going to miss when you retire from sport? And he's like, tickets. Tickets are so difficult. They're so hard. Selling tickets, distributing tickets, organizing seating manifests. Like, there's a lot. People kind of don't really think about the detail that goes into the ticketing side of the business, and it's not just people walking up to a box office and buying a ticket to get in, like, you might at the zoo, or, I mean, I don't know if anywhere is like that anymore, but there's so much that goes into it. There's so many different avenues to be able to make purchases. It's an elaborate enterprise inside of an organization to run a ticketing department. Yeah,
no, I feel for Dana White because, the guy is going right to different cities and basically creating marketing plans for each one every single time, right? And starting fresh. Luckily and hopefully, the community is with me on this. We'll have the members that are, it'll be part of their lifestyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
We go Tioga Sequoia right outside, right? And you pregame there, walk on over to your game and have a great experience, right? That's the the cool thing about, sports, right? It's not just the game itself, it's the experience leading up to the game. Youth soccer kids, if they're coming out, they're probably doing like a tailgate at the parking lot with pizzas and things like that, really celebrating maybe all their accomplishments for the season and having a get together at our stadium. So they'll do that, come out to the game. Hopefully they're working with us where they're doing some fun experiences on the field and having a great time. But it's all about that experience. And, when it comes down to it, I feel like we'll have the natural things in place. They're going to make people want to come back to every game, right?
Yeah. I mean, one question that comes up a lot, in Fresno, the Central Valley as a whole, it's a nearly 65% Hispanic market, most from Mexican descent. And there's always been a clear separation between general market and the Spanish-speaking market. Our club hopes to unite those two things together. I mean, what items or what strategies do you think come in place to be able to identify with the Hispanic market and how to connect them back with the club and make the experience very palatable for both markets?
I think the best thing is communication, right? Actually reaching out to the market. Our brand itself is pretty a natural fit. We're the Fuego, right? The cool thing, it already has history, so that adds to it. I think our colors might resonate with a lot of fans out there of a certain team. But at the end of the day, no, it's reaching out to those communities and letting them know we're here. I think a lot of sports teams drop the ball on the Hispanic market, Spanish language communication, ads in Spanish, and they're some of the biggest consumers in the United States. Why not, right? Let's get the team in place. The staff should resonate as well with the community. We need to have people that could speak the language as well, both English and Spanish. We'll have people as well that don't speak Spanish, but at the end of the day, we need to have people that do, so so that they could talk to those folks that maybe it's a abuelo that wants to bring his grandson, and all he does is speak Spanish, but the son is bilingual, and the grandson is bilingual, but the person bringing them out is the abuelo that saw the phone number on TV and wants to bring the family out, right? So
yeah, it's for me, I think it's a beautiful opportunity to be able to bring everybody together regardless of background, and I think that's what Fuego wants to represent. We take a lot of pride in kind of where the club was started and the foundation of it. And prior to the Fuego even ever existing, kind of its predecessor in a way was Mexico Soccer Club, which was a local amateur soccer team that won a national championship and really showed that the Central Valley has national level soccer players that can really compete at a high level. And then the Fuego came in and now we're, being able to turn the team professional. So I think it's just a great opportunity to bring our entire valley together regardless of background. And it's really, I think it's a really exciting time for us.
No, I love it. I like the fact that it's the Central Valley Fuego and incorporates, the whole area. I know I've been to a couple other cities.
Yeah, we've taken you around quite a little bit.
And I mean, if I lived 40 minutes away, I mean, there's nothing else to do. So it'd be
out to a match.
Yeah, it'll be a nice little drive with the family, and you're watching the game, right? So
yeah. So in closing, what's your pitch to buy season? Be a member. Why should people out there be a member for Fuego FC?
You just got to join the family, right? Come out, have a good time, and we'll treat you great here. So at the end of the day, it's not for any reason that I could come out with, but it's for any reasons that you want to come out to a game, right? So if you're a father that wants to have some more time with, his son, you only get those days before, he's gone, even a mother, right? Your son is going to go to college or go play professional soccer. Who knows? Enjoy those moments with them, right? You bring them out to the games. You create that, that tradition, right? And then in the future, they're bringing out their kids, right? That's what it's all about when it comes down to the core, the family, and everybody else. And for anybody else, we're gonna make this a fun atmosphere, and we're gonna make it so you don't want to miss out, right? So that's,
FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah, don't miss out.
And I think that, it's a great point. And I think we spoke a little bit about it earlier, being for everybody, but I think there'll be an experience for everyone. If you want to come be that crazy guy or crazy gal drumming on a drum and singing and dancing and cheering and drinking and having a chaotic day, like just a release to get away from the world for a minute, there's a space for you there. If you want to come out with your grandkids and sit on the sidelines and cheer on your favorite player and dream that you can one day play on that field, on that pitch, there's space for you too. So it's really, I think, one of the beauties of soccer is that you can choose to sit in different seating sections in different areas and receive a different experience. And I think Fuego's really going to do something special for this community. And Christian, thank you for the time. I'm sure everybody's excited to meet you and speak to you and give you the credit card information and tell you to charge a card for a membership package.
No, thank you guys. Thank you, Central Valley, for having me. And I'm excited to meet every one of y'all. So I said y'all because I've been in Texas too long.
There you go.
See you guys soon.
Thank you.